Introduction: the sting of rejection and the spark of reinvention. Rejection is not just an event, it is a wound, a silent one. It does not show up as a bruise or a scar you can point to. Instead, it lingers in the nervous system, in the memory, in the late night thoughts where you replay what went wrong and what you could have done differently. For many, rejection becomes a moment that defines them, not because they choose to wear it like a badge, but because it feels sewn into the fabric of who they are. It hurts because it often comes without warning and without explanation. One minute you are included, welcomed, even celebrated. The next, you are on the outside of something you once held dear. The truth is that most people underestimate how deeply rejection cuts. It does not matter whether it was a parent who withheld affection, a partner who chose someone else, a job that let you go without notice, or a group that decided you were no longer one of them. The outcome is the same. You feel as if something about you was not enough, not good enough, not lovable enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough. This pain is not about the loss of an opportunity. It is about the loss of identity and the erosion of self-worth. But what if rejection is not the end of your story? What if the pain that came to break you is actually the pressure required to shape you? There are countless examples of individuals who took the pain of being discarded and used it to build something greater. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her job as a television reporter and told she was unfit for TV. Steve Jobs was publicly ousted from the very company he founded. Lady Gaga was dropped from her first record label after only 3 months. Each of them faced the sting of rejection, but none of them allowed it to have the final word. These stories are not inspirational for the sake of being inspirational. They are proof that rejection does not have to define you. In fact, it can become the very thing that refines you. The key is not to pretend that the pain is not real or to gloss over the grief. The key is learning how to sit in the discomfort without letting it sink you, how to process the pain without letting it paralyze you, how to let rejection speak, but not let it have the last say. Pain has a voice. It tells you things about yourself you would never have known otherwise. It teaches you to listen more carefully, to see more clearly, and to move with greater intention. Rejection, in particular, has a way of unmasking the parts of your life that you thought were solid but were actually brittle. It forces you to examine your attachments, your expectations, and your self-image. It is uncomfortable, but it is also instructive. A 2011 study from the University of Michigan used MRI scans to demonstrate that social rejection activates the same areas of the brain as physical pain. This explains why the experience of being rejected can feel like a physical wound. The pain is not imagined, it is real and measurable. Yet, despite this intense reaction, human beings also possess the extraordinary ability to heal and grow through adversity. Neuroplasticity shows that the brain is capable of change, even after deep emotional injuries. This means your sense of self can be rebuilt, even if it has been shattered. The goal of this book is not to offer you empty reassurance or to hand you a list of cliches dressed up as advice. It is to meet you in the real place of your pain and walk with you toward a version of yourself that rejection tried to hide. It is to help you see that being unwanted by one person, one company, or one group does not make you unworthy. It simply makes you human. And humanity is full of second chances, hidden strength, and unbelievable comebacks. This journey is not about pretending that rejection does not hurt. It is about making the pain work for you instead of against you. It is about taking what was meant to tear you down and using it to build a deeper foundation. Because some of the strongest structures in the world are not made from what is whole, they are built from what has been broken and reinforced. Think of the ancient Japanese art of kintsugi, where broken pottery is mended with gold. The cracks are not hidden, they are highlighted. They become the most beautiful part of the piece. You are not ruined because someone left, because a dream collapsed, or because you were not chosen. That moment may have cracked your surface, but it did not destroy your substance. There is something in you that is still intact, still whole, still unshaken. That part of you is the foundation we are going to work with. And by the time you finish this book, you will not only know that you have value, you will know how to walk in it unapologetically. One of the greatest myths about rejection is that it only happens to the weak. In truth, it often targets the strong, people who stand for something, people who dare to be different, people who are not easily molded into the expectations of others. Strength threatens systems. Authenticity challenges norms. And when you dare to show up as your full self, you will sometimes be pushed out by those who are intimidated by what they cannot control. Rejection, then, is often a form of indirect affirmation. It means you are being too real to be tolerated by something fake. Of course, knowing this does not erase the ache. There is nothing easy about being left out, let go, or looked over. The loneliness that comes after rejection can be suffocating. It can lead to shame, withdrawal, and sometimes even self-destruction. But this is why the conversation must be deeper than move on or stay positive. You need tools, language, and truth to anchor you. That is what this book will give you. Chapter by chapter, you will be equipped to process, to rise, and to reframe. You will read about the psychology of rejection and how it affects your mind and body. You will discover how to rewire your brain's interpretation of painful events. You will explore boundaries, identity, confidence, and clarity. You will be introduced to stories of people who were crushed but not destroyed, dismissed but not defeated. And you will be challenged to look at your own story and ask a new question. Not, why was I rejected? But what will I build from this? Throughout this process, you will be reminded that healing is not linear. Some days you will feel empowered, and other days you will feel like the wound is fresh all over again. That is normal. Healing is not a performance. It is a practice. It is the daily decision to show up for yourself, even when no one else does. It is the work of reclaiming your voice, your value, and your vision, piece by piece. It is also important to recognize that not all rejection is personal. Sometimes it is circumstantial. Sometimes it is about timing. Sometimes it is about the limitations of the other person, not the lack in you. As painful as rejection feels, it is not always an indictment of your worth. In many cases, it is a redirection, a form of protection cloaked in pain. Looking back, you will see that some of the doors that closed were never meant to be opened. Some of the people who left had to make room for those who would truly see and celebrate you. In a 2017 article from Harvard Business Review, researchers explored how people use rejection to fuel innovation and growth. They found that individuals who viewed rejection as feedback rather than failure were more likely to create breakthroughs in both their personal and professional lives. This mindset shift is not natural, it is cultivated. And this book will help you do exactly that, transform how you view the very moments that once made you question everything. You do not need to wait for validation to rebuild your life. You do not need to be chosen again to begin again. The power to rise is already within you. What rejection tried to erase, you are going to rewrite. Not with vengeance, not with bitterness, but with a quiet, unshakable knowing that you are still worthy, still capable, still becoming. This is not just about healing. It is about redefining your identity in the aftermath of rejection. It is about becoming stronger at the broken places and learning how to trust yourself again. You may have been rejected, but you are not ruined. And by the end of this journey, you will know exactly how to turn your pain into a personal power move. Welcome to your reinvention. If this introduction resonated with your truth, if the ache in your memories found a voice here, then this is your invitation. Rejected but not ruined, turning pain into a personal power move isn't just a book. It's your companion on the path from heartbreak to strength, built to help you rise with clarity, courage, and grace. Click the link in the description to claim your copy on Amazon. Turn that sting into fuel. Transform that fracture into gold. Pick yourself. With quiet power and unbreakable resolve, you may have been rejected, but you are not ruined. And now, it's your move.